I know this is your last term in Parliament because you didn't contest for your seat during your party's primaries. What informed that decision not to contest? I quite remember the Honorable Chairman Sabonsu, lamenting about the absence of quality, well-bred, members of Parliament who are going to be absent from the next Parliament. Why did you not contest?
Well, I believe that we haven't got to the stage that the country will value experience. We are still in the learning stage where people don't even see the essence of Parliament, and many people think that they could do without members of Parliament. Again, because we've not gotten it right yet, people think that Parliament is a place to go and make money. We didn't enter with that. We entered with some patriotic zeal in 1993, and we never talked about money. And we worked and sacrificed and got the foundation in place. But things are sliding down. But it's not because of that. I think that I myself seem to be losing faith in what we are doing. That's one.
Wow, that's okay. A huge statement to make.
Oh yes.
Losing faith.
Losing faith.
In what? In our democracy.
In our democracy.
How so?
There's a complete rise and fall of the Ghana democracy, and we need to work at it seriously.
What do you mean by this? What do you mean by this?
The focus now, for due respect to the players, now it's not on the national interest. It's on sectional, parochial interest. In fact, I get worried, and sometimes I have nightmares about Ghana sliding back from nationhood to now tribal enclaves. Okay? The national discourse is now so poisoned, full of invectives and insults. There's a rise in violence, and there's a looming danger as to what is going to happen in the 2020 elections. I don't see any effort being made by leadership to change that perception. And so it's worrying. Again, for 28 years now, I must say that I'm very satisfied with my performance. I've done a lot and impacted the lives of my people. And there are a number of them that have been with me all these years who are mature enough to take after me, and I believe that they could deliver or even deliver better than me. And so I'm there to support them. So why not go into another area? And in fact, I have the passion of going into how we could pass the knowledge and the experience that we've acquired to the younger generation coming. And so I want to see how we could organize an institution to focus on that. Well, we're just taking things for granted, and we think that those who come in know why they come in. And they even, not only the leadership, but the followers, Ghanaians as a whole, we are just taking it for granted that they appreciate and they understand what multi-party democracy means, particularly the option that we've taken for ourselves, which is very different from that of the UK or the US or France or even Togo or Nigeria. We've taken a different option. Do Ghanaians really understand it? I think not so. Implemented, and we need to really get our acts together as a country to have a vision. And now we don't have a vision. And so the political leaders are fishing. You understand? Anytime there's any effort to get a national vision and there's a change of government, they just isn't it. And so you realize we used to talk about Vision 2020.
Yeah.
Okay? And when NDC lost in 2000, that was the end of it. Well, that was just the first step, 1996 to 2000. Again, during the time of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we were talking about another vision, we're talking about 50 years. People criticize it, 50 years too long. And so it was reduced to 40 years. And a lot of efforts, resources were pumped into it. Immediately, the NDC lost in 2016. That one too has been jettisoned. And so we don't have a national vision now. We only have guides, which you can glean from the Constitution and other legal documents. But there's no national vision. So where are we going? And so you see that the song that Sofudazi and his people used to sing is what is happening. It's only heaven who know where we are going. But we know we will. You don't know where you are going, but you know you will. So everybody in Ghana, we are leaving our faith to God.
It's interesting, the picture you're painting this morning. It's quite gloomy because you make the point about people entering parliament not for the patriotic reason, but acquisition of wealth for themselves. So if that's what's happening in parliament today, then what goes into the very many bills and laws that are churned out from parliament with people who are there with a mindset of making money? But is there money even in parliament in the first place?
Unfortunately, there's no money in parliament, really, unless you are doing some dubious business along the way, not in parliament. But that's a picture that has been painted. It's not only parliament, there's politics generally, okay? If you have a chairman or a vice chairman who is able to acquire huge number of cars and distribute them to people, or you have an aspirant to be a parliamentary candidate distributing that number of cars or fridges, and then you're asking yourself, for what? How is he going to recoup that investment? I mean, there's no Father Christmas in these matters. Yes, philanthropy is good and is being encouraged, but I've never heard of it even in the rich nations, where politicians can get that number of this and just distribute. It's unheard of. But that is what is happening here, and nobody is questioning. Nobody is questioning it. People are just accepting it as a norm, and that is bad. We need, as a country, to look at the issue of political party funding and then campaign financing. We need to look at it, because the person is not going into a private business. You see, he's not investing to get profits for himself. He's going to serve the society, serve the people. And so the cost of that process should not just be shouldered by him. But that's the system that we have now. We like referring to the other countries that are doing better, but we don't want to take up some of the things that they put in place, the system that they put in place, the institutions that they built to get there. And that's a serious challenge. You're a very good journalist. You can ask your colleagues who came to parliament, they have a different picture. And that's why when you are seen as a very good person, and then you get to parliament, they say you've changed. It's not that you like to change. In fact, leadership is about change anyway, but for the better, not for the worse. So we need, as a country, to sit down, have a conversation, a national conversation, and come out with laws to regulate what we do.
But don't we have enough laws already, sir?
No. You don't have. What are the ethics rules in this country? None.
In what respect?
You can do in all respects, everything. There's no ethical governance in this country. These are some of the things I'm drawing attention to. Okay? What are the do's and don'ts? They just can't do anything, even driving around. You see how people conduct themselves. So, yes, you can talk about some laws, okay? But those laws, you are talking about enforceability. But in the case of ethics and values, which actually don't have the legal framework in place,